I think they can hear us just fine.
Think so?
I think so.
Well, while we getting started this morning, y'all vibing to some mood music.
Yes, yes. My chair is
That's how
low
I'm
today.
feeling this morning.
That's how you feeling this morning?
I feel like we should always connect our art forms, to our energies in our day and our work.
We're getting deep early this morning.
And that's how I'm feeling. I don't know if y'all can hear everything we're talking about yet, but just listen to the music.
I'm sure it's picking up a little bit, although I think the music definitely is catching all the microphones right now.
Black Lives Matter sounds.
This is the kind of morning we're having today. This is the Focus Friday for us today. Sean is vibing. Sean's feeling the vibes.
I feel like we gotta introduce this every morning. A little bit of new music before we get started. Let people kind of hear us. Hear
Absolutely.
The mood we in.
Yeah.
And just jam in, man. So
Yeah.
good vibes only.
Good vibes only.
Good vibes only.
And good morning to everybody. As we get started today on Focus Friday, with a few things to talk about, right? We're going to talk about FinLit 518 in local Black businesses.
That's right.
Local politics, and we got a whole host of local community announcements to get through. There's quite a bit that's been going on. We got more coming up, and lots to share.
It's been a busy week.
It's been a busy week. Like, it feels like it could already be next Friday. It's like, I'm like, what day is it? Friday, May. It says Friday, May 10th on my paper, so I'm gonna go with that. It's Friday, May 10th. Yeah, but we do have a lot to talk, and I do want to just start with, we're already in 10 days into May. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's something, especially in the Black community, that has a very strong stigma. And just big shout out to some amazing folks like Lisa Good and others who do a lot of work to help marginalized communities address their mental health needs. And we need more Black doctors. We need more Black psychologists.
That's right.
Because there are those barriers, but it is Mental Health Awareness Month. And if you know somebody, reach out, talk to them, get the help that you need. It's also Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, because we say all of us, we mean all of us.
That's right.
So
That's right.
Shout out for those reasons. But it's been a busy week, but we can go all the way back to last weekend with the FinLit 518 conference.
Big shout out.
Yes.
Big shout out to the Tatums. Elroy sent us an invite. I believe his wife did too. Alicia sent us an invite to show up. So financial literacy 101 and beyond. So it was an opportunity to talk about personal finance, business finance. What does credit mean? How do you start to build your credit? How do you utilize your finances in order to grow your wealth? Right?
Yeah.
It was really, I think, great opportunity for me personally and us organizationally to kind of to learn from some craftsmen. All Black and brown leadership in the room.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. It was held at the Blake Annex.
Yep, in Albany. Yeah.
Shout out to James Mitchell, who was also a part of it.
Yes.
He's one of he's got Young Futures.
Yes.
So it's Young Futures with James Mitchell and You Inc. I just call them the Tatums.
The Tatums, they are.
They're amazing,
the
amazing young Black couple in the city of Schenectady. So it was a great time. We saw a lot of familiar faces, some faces we didn't know, and hopefully, like we'll be taking, not hopefully, we will be taking some structured steps moving forward based on that conference.
We'll be disciplined.
We will be disciplined,
because that was a word that was talked about a lot at the conference, being disciplined. Right. Like, first is gaining the knowledge, because you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But gaining the knowledge, being disciplined, doing the work. Also, it was really a Capital Region event.
Yeah.
There were folks from everywhere that were there as part of the Financial Literacy 518, FinLit 518 conference that happened last weekend. And there were banks in the room, different types of financial advisors. Like you mentioned, there was just a wealth of knowledge
Yeah,
from different folks and different businesses. Virginia Rawlings
that's right.
was in the room talking about, that housing side, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
different access points for folks to learn about lending for home ownership, and
I mean,
what
big.
does your credit score mean, and what is necessary, what are the things that contribute to
Yeah.
your credit score.
Yeah,
Like, we know it was all made up, but guess what, it still impacts our lives.
that's right.
So
That's
we
right.
need to know what are those different pieces, and it really was great. And like you said, there was folks in the room that we knew, so it's always nice
Mhm.
to show up and see people in person.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how you been?
Yeah.
So
No,
we
that's
got
for
to
sure.
come together, talk about some things, and yeah, keep it pushing.
I
Like-
mean,
like
really,
you
just
said.
big shout out to everyone that helped put that together.
Yes, yeah,
I mean, listen, we understand that they offered us some tools
Mhm.
in order to develop our financial kind of health or wellness. Like I said, personally and for our business. And I just appreciated that. It was just so many dope people in the room that really kind of cared about, not just in the sense like it was just about money, right? They understood money from a perspective. Everybody's in the room is Black. All the leadership is Black. All of them come from different kind of, I guess, worlds of being Black,
Backgrounds,
right? Different
yeah.
backgrounds, and in like coming together, like recognizing what we're up against as a people,
Yeah.
all right, and then having the conversation through that lens. It was really, really dope. So special shout out to everyone that did that, man. Y'all did y'all thing. I really enjoyed myself and I learned some things. And there was some young brother in there that was just like
Dropping some knowledge,
dropping
right?
knowledge, man.
Right.
So it's like it was, really appreciated that.
Because we talk about it all the time. You never know who's going to be in the room
That's right.
that says the thing that you need to hear that's going to make a difference. There was a lot of that. I really also appreciated, there was a panel discussion, because as they were talking about financial literacy, there was that personal side of it, right? So as a mother or as someone in a relationship, and what does financial wellness mean for interpersonal relationships? What does it mean for what you're teaching your children and your relationship to money?
Yeah.
And that as early as 3 years old, children start learning about what their relationship is to money. So it was a lot. It was really, really great. And I look forward to us being able to share more of that information.
Yeah.
If you didn't make it to the Financial Literacy 518 conference, there will be more. The Tatums, everybody's going to keep showing up. So stay tuned. Join the email list. Get it directly in your inbox.
You Inc. Wealth Young Futures.
Yes, follow them on social media. Because speaking of Black businesses, right? Because this was definitely something rooted in that, and also other Black businesses that we support, that other folks support, and other businesses of color. In the month of June, we're going to be rolling it out. If there's a Black business or a business of color that you want us to highlight or lift up and share the information, please send it to us.
Yeah.
Because we by no means think that we know every business that exists in the capital region.
Yeah.
And we want to make sure to lift those up and, to be in full community and support each other in that way. Just like we support restaurants that are on Broadway in both Albany and Schenectady, which was funny. We were thinking about it. We're like, wait, it's on Broadway in Albany, but there's other ones on Broadway in Schenectady. So
we talking about Yaya's here in Schenectady on Broadway, run by Mr. Mark and his wife. And it's actually a family business. It's Mr. Mark, his wife, and his son actually run the business. And then we have Johnny's on Broadway.
In Albany.
Run, operated, owned by one Jamila Adams, really dope sister, man, who we have the pleasure to meet a few years back. And we've been like, we visit both places.
Yes,
right?
Yeah.
Really dope.
We like eating.
That's right. That's right.
We do like eating.
That's right. And like this one ain't on Broadway, but I'm gonna tell go to Sugarfoot's. Sugarfoot's in Albany.
But isn't it near?
It's downtown,
right?
And it's on Madison.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not all the way out towards where Johnny's is at. It's on Madison Avenue.
Yeah.
I ate there a couple of times with some of the brothers. But yeah, Sugarfoot's is good. and Good Religion.
That's the one I was thinking
Good
about.
Religion. That's close.
That's the one around the corner.
Yeah, that's another sister. I can't remember the name off the top, but she opened up last year.
Yeah.
And the food is definitely hitting.
What are the local restaurants that y'all like? Like where do you frequent? Where do you go? Or if you happen to know an entrepreneurial business that ain't maybe got a brick and mortar yet, who are the cooks that show up and cater?
That's right.
Because I'm gonna say a thing. Amira needs to start a business. Like the food, man. Listen, bestie, please just make it happen. So if y'all know folks that do catering or are startups or have restaurants in the capital region, the greater capital region, shout them out, drop it in the comments, or send us a message.
That's right.
Tell us to add it to the list because June gets here because Black Restaurant Week is going to be happening. We're going to be supporting that, sharing information, their social media pages, their websites, trying to build up that traffic. Who we shouting out?
And we like good food.
That's also the other thing. Like
when we do our events, we feed the people.
We do feed the people
because we love the people.
Yes,
and we like good food too.
Yes,
and we ain't gonna serve nothing we ain't gonna eat.
We should taste test. Like it should be like a whole thing.
There you go.
That we, and maybe some other folks want to join us. Like let's, because again, the 518 Black Restaurant Week, that is a whole thing.
Yeah.
Where to go to all of these different restaurants, I think the list needs to be bigger. I think that there's, other restaurants that maybe we don't know about.
Shout out Jamila who organizes Black Restaurant Week.
Yes. Yes.
Jamila, Johnny's on Broadway.
Yep.
Invite us in.
Yeah.
We want to eat.
We're paying.
Come on. Is we? Wait a minute. Hold on. Don't go.
What did we learn at FinLit 518?
What did we learn about what? We got to support Black business?
Yes.
We all support Black business.
Oh my gosh.
Advertising.
Okay.
It's free advertisement.
Oh my gosh. So we'll discuss this
taste
offline.
Test.
Well, yeah, and still want to taste test because that's what's happening. But what are the other locally Black owned or people of color businesses that we should be frequenting?
I mean,
because there's some Afghan spots.
Yeah.
Y'all don't. Okay, we're gonna get the list. So in June, you got something to look forward to. Nice. It's good food, good recommendations. Let us know what we're missing. Tell us, and we'll add it to the list because we are about local businesses, local activities and actions, including local politics.
Local politics.
We be politicking, y'all. We be politicking.
We be politicking.
We be politicking.
I feel like that's a nice segue.
We're keeping it local, right?
Let's keep it local.
And we talking about what's been happening locally. And so there's things coming up, right?
There's things coming up. There's things that have just recently happened.
Yes.
At the Capitol.
Yep. What you talk about what just happened Wednesday?
We were, I think, very fortunate to be a part of. There's a rally held on West Capitol Lawn in Albany, New York.
Mm-hmm.
And we were invited to come speak. It was an anti-war, peace-loving rally in support of an end to the violence, an end to the genocide happening in Gaza, an end to the bloody massacres and all the things that are happening there. So many people came out, hundreds of people came out to have their voices heard and to be present in the moment in our state capitol to say, not in our name, we need to stop what's happening there. Right? And it was a special day, special shout out once again. All the special shout outs.
It was organized by Muslims for Gaza.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And as you were about to say, Imam Jamal Shaw, Dr. Sahib, who did such an amazing job of pulling together intersectional folks, right?
Mm-hmm.
To say, we all stand united. We'll never be divided. There were chants, y'all. That
was nice.
There were chants.
Nice. The young people, the old, everybody was out. It was a beautiful day. The weather was shining, right? And it was an amazing time, and people were loud. And very, very present. And I really do feel fortunate to be a part of it. When they look at the record,
right? Yes.
Right, because there will be a record of this. When they look at the record, years from now and where'd you stand and what'd you do, I'm gonna be thankful.
Yeah.
Right? If God willing, I'm still here, I'll be thankful to say I stood on the right side of this, and I stood for justice, and I stood for people, and I stood for peace.
And localities get to
Yeah.
decide
Yeah.
which side they're on, right?
Because history's
Because
gonna remember y'all too.
this is it was Albany, Schenectady, Troy, Saratoga, right? This was a capital region event that happened in Albany at the state capitol.
Yeah.
And local representatives at all levels, right?
Yeah.
Towns, cities, state, are making decisions about where they stand, what they say, what they don't say.
Yeah.
Merton Simpson actually came and spoke.
Oh, the county legislator, right?
Spoke
Yeah,
so Albany was represented with one local official. The city of Albany had passed a resolution calling for a ceasefire a little while back.
Yep.
We know that Hudson had even stronger language
Yep.
in its call for a ceasefire. And in Schenectady, we are fighting
Yep.
for a ceasefire resolution because it is our duty to say that we call for peace and an end to violence and the murder of innocent women and children,
Yeah.
The genocide of individuals who have family and relatives here.
Yeah.
As well as, let us not forget, the resources that are being spent to bomb babies instead of building in our communities.
Mm-hmm.
It is a direct relationship to the housing insecurity, the food insecurity, the healthcare and education needs right here in Schenectady. If President Biden feels as if he can send billions upon billions of dollars to Israel for bombs and weapons, I forget it does that when your thumbs up, then
I thought it was just agreeing with you.
If we're able to send that money someplace else, we actually could have spent that money right here.
Yeah, that's right.
To all of those red-blooded Americans who say America first,
yeah.
We agree with you. Let's not send our resources to Israel to kill Palestinians. Instead, we could build housing. Every kid could be, every child in our school district could have their own Mac laptop. Digress that the fact that the Congo was being exploited for those Mac laptops, and how that's all connected. But here we are. Yeah. So any elected representative that says they are here for the people, where do you stand, Schenectady? Because where are we going to be?
Where do you stand, and where do you want to be? How do you want to be remembered?
How are you going to be remembered? What is your legacy?
Because even now, as you see, the propaganda and lies have been falling apart for months and months and months, and now we're at a point that it's almost as blatant as anything can be.
Yeah.
The genocidal intent, besides what they said early on, but the intent is borne out in all the actions. Like, it's falling apart. Where are you going to stand?
The United States is a part of the UN.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about the greatness of the UN when it's in its favor. But when the UN disagrees with the United States, well, you know, we're doing our own investigation. I stand with Israel no matter what, even if Israel makes mistakes. That's what President Biden said. If Israel makes mistakes, we're still with them. This isn't a mistake.
No.
This is an intentional genocide against a people, and Netanyahu, in his own words, said he's going to level Gaza and claim it for Israel.
And you know how bad it got to be that the staunch supporter of the United States is now wavering. Like, how bad it's like it's. I don't want to make light of it or be too cavalier, right? Because we're talking about it estimated 40,000+ people, you know, murdered. We don't know how many actually are, because so many are buried under the rubble and haven't been able to be identified, and on and on and on. And at this point, with this attack on Rafah, that's been happening over the last couple of days, the bombings and the imminent invasion of that small land area where 1.5 million people are. Now they're like, wait a minute, y'all going too far. Maybe we shouldn't be giving you weapons.
Right.
But is that a political calculation, or do they really care? I would say that, you know, it has to be more of a political calculation, because if it took you this long, after all of this evidence to be like, hey, we need to slow things down. It's a scary time.
Yeah.
It really is to literally watch people who in all other kind of contexts that we like, hey, this person is this or that, and we kind of have agreements on certain spots to actually turn against peace and turn against humanity,
Mm-hmm.
and be on the side of just mass murder and death. And it's just one of those moments in history where you're just like, you don't know where this thing's going to go from here. But I am certainly proud of the thousands and thousands, if not millions of people who have decided that they're going to stand up. Those students, who are anywhere from 18 to 21, who are like camping out, rallying, protesting, speaking their mind, putting their potential careers and academic,
they're getting doxxed
on the line. Yeah. I mean, like just the heart that they have and the passion in which they move. I'm extremely proud to be just witness to it all, and on my side, like do my part and making change happen.
And like we see in the chat, someone said, school presidents, some of them are not too afraid. And then, the eerie silence on campuses from administration, these colleges. And this is an international movement, right? Because we do live in a global society. When folks say, I'm only worried about what's happening locally here, you don't have anything locally here without being connected to the global society. Again, this phone does not exist without the exploitation of the Congo. So you don't have what you have without the global society that exists, number one. And number two, people are making decisions in your name saying, instead of investing in your local community, that I'm going to spend the money this other way or use these resources this other way. I saw this quote on a reel where someone said something about using your influence to create change. Right? Every local elected official has influence. Every single one of them. Which is why there have been local elected officials that stood up and said, I'm calling on Biden to, no longer fund the war against the Palestinians. We want you to fund humanitarian efforts. We want you to fund our healthcare system, right? Local, state officials and federal, a few have said, this is what you need to do. You do hold influence. Every single person, including the city council members here in the city of Schenectady, hold influence, and it is their duty to stand up and speak out and say, as a representative in the city of Schenectady, who is dedicated to the residents who live here, not just the citizens, the residents who live here, I want to ensure that we have the resources necessary, and it should be spent here, not on bombs, not on violence. And we've had city council members say that they stand against violence, right? We're all about safety. We want it to be safe for everyone. We want it to be safe for all of us. Well, here's your chance.
I mean, we grew up in a place that is the largest, military, maybe not per person, but the largest and the largest investments in military might in the world, and we live in the violence of culture. It's amazing that we even have so many people that are just like, hey, maybe this is too much because of our culture. Right. Everything we watch is about, all the popular movies that make all the hundreds of millions of dollars in the box office are mostly about violence and death and murder and etc. So it's amazing that we still have the humanity enough to be like, wait a minute, this is too much. And I would love to see our any elected official advocate for what their community is kind of feeling and needing and wanting in the moment, even though they don't maybe not have the power to change it on their own. They don't have any legislative power to change it or administrative power to change it. They do, I think, have an opportunity to advocate for what the community, and also lend their voice and their community's voice to the arc of justice, right? Because Dr. King talks about the universe is, the arc of the universe is towards justice. It's not bends towards justice, but it is not just bending towards justice, it is bent towards justice through the action of the people, right?
Well, there's one There's one local elected official who has been outspoken and stood. It's me.
If you didn't know,
In case you didn't
I
know,
mean, I think they might know.
there's what other city or county of Schenectady elected representative, right? Because our school board is still an elected body,
Yeah.
which the election is coming up on May 21st. This is an elected body, and
Mhm.
we do have Palestinian families that live here,
That's right.
right? And
That's right.
even if we didn't, how dare we pretend as if we should stay silent on such a massive
Injustice,
Yeah.
massive wrong. You're right.
Exactly. And again,
But you
our
stay in
schools
good.
could.
You stay in good trouble.
I do stay.
You stay in good
Good
trouble. Stay in good trouble.
But we do also need more investment in our schools. So,
That's
like,
That's right.
hey, you want to say, oh, I'm being selfish? Sure, it's not about humanity or moral obligation to do what's right and justice. Let's just say it's I'm being greedy. That's not what it is. But hey, our schools need more investment, more books than bombs. How about that?
Isn't that an organization?
Is it?
Something.
If not,
Anyway,
somebody started
special
up.
shout out. Special shout. I'm doing all the special shout out.
That is
Shout
your
out to
thing
Brian
today.
Shaw. I see you in the chat, brother. I
Yeah.
see you in the chat.
Yup.
Blessings to you too, my boy. Appreciate
And
you
we
tuning
got
in today.
Nietzsche watching. Miss Pearl. Miss Pearl's with us this
Miss
morning.
Pearl was oh, I see.
Yeah,
Hey,
Miss
Pearl was
Pearl.
there. Okay.
Yup.
All
Yeah.
right.
And
That's
of course,
peace.
Amira. Good morning.
Always. What up,
Always.
Amira?
But it is local, right? And we do have this local focus as we
All right.
continue to talk about the connection between the local and the global. We have a lot of things that are coming up
Let's
locally.
go.
Let's talk about what's happening. So today is Friday, May 10th. And at 4 p.m., Townsend Park in Albany, there will be a ceasefire march and rally.
Mhm.
Again, because we're disclose, divest. We will not stop. We will not rest. It's like Chance.
Nice.
I love
know
him.
you love your chance.
Ain't nobody stopping, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it continues. That's happening, and we're doing these in chronological order, but you'll see a trend. Tomorrow, May 11th, here in the city of Schenectady, 2 p.m., the mural unveiling at Jerry Burrell. Jerry Burrell means a lot to some of us. So there's a mural unveiling, 2 p.m. tomorrow, Jerry Burrell Park. It is also Tulip Festival in Albany.
Tomorrow, too? Yeah.
Saturday and Sunday.
Okay.
It's Tulip Festival weekend. Mother's Day is on Sunday. My baby's already made me some really pretty cards. But anyone that wants to shut down Tulip Festival and go with their Palestinian flags to call for a ceasefire, I encourage that behavior. Because then on Monday, May 13th,
we'll be here.
Right here in the city of Schenectady.
City Hall press conference, demanding the ceasefire resolution be passed. We'll have local community leaders here speaking to the press about it, and then we'll be going to the city council meeting.
That's right. So 6 p.m.
discussion.
Come through if you are in support of a ceasefire and an end to genocide. Come to Schenectady City Hall, 6 p.m. on Monday. We'll be right on those steps that are right across from our office. And then we're going to go inside to the city council meeting. And folks have already signed up to speak at the city council meeting. Mm-hmm. If you want to know that process, reach out and let us know. But we also have more things coming up with local Black businesses.
Yeah.
Lucid Voices on Saturday, May 18th at 5 p.m. We'll have You, Me, and Poetry in Albany. You can find this information online. Sunday, May 19th at 12 p.m. Union College, just up the hill, has its community carnival, which is usually a lot of fun every single year. The young students help run that and put it on. And then let us not forget, because we'll remind you again next week, that Tuesday, May 21st is the school board vote, which happens across New York State.
Yeah.
Albany, Schenectady, Troy, Saratoga. There will be the election of representatives for each city, and each city has a different number of seats that are up. There's 2 in Schenectady. I believe it's 3 or 4 in Troy. So check your localities to find that information. And the budget, the school budget, it is so important to vote yes and pass the budget.
We're going to hear the candidates kind of talk about some of this stuff. Some of the candidates for election will have an opportunity through the League of Women Voters and I can't remember who else.
It's
but
League of Women Voters.
It's just League.
It's
Ain't nobody
just-
else.
It's League of Women Voters. It's just
Okay.
League of
But
Women
it's an
Voters.
opportunity. There's 3 candidates
Right. So
running
for
for 2 seats.
for Troy, they had a meet the candidates earlier this week.
Okay.
And they had it at, I believe, their middle school, so folks could just kind of go and talk to them. There
Okay.
wasn't a whole candidate forum, but for Schenectady, the League of Women Voters, and they've done this every single year, on Thursday, May 16th, starting at 7.
Mhm.
Starting at 7 p.m. at 530 Liberty Street. Everything's like right by our office, by the way. The League of Women Voters has invited all 3 candidates that are running for 2 seats to come and debate and to
Mhm.
say why you should vote for them. Also, it has been announced the order that the candidates will be on the ballot,
Mhm.
which is Jamaica Miles, Claudia Kavanaugh, and Alexandria Carver. So 3 candidates for 2 seats, and the candidate forum Thursday, May 16th. And if you're on our email list, you'll get all of this
All this
information directly to your
And
inbox.
if you're not and you want to be, let
You
us know
sure
in the chat,
can
share
be,
your email,
because-
send us a DM and we'll get to you.
Or you can just click the link that's already in the chat, because we're building more in 2024.
There you go.
That's who we are. That's what we do.
Take it away, ED. So I think that certainly appreciate that. All right. I think it's
that time.
It's that time, y'all. Listen, wonderful talking to you all, man.
Yeah.
I'm really enjoying these discussions with you on Fridays.
Focused
Certainly always
Fridays.
with Jamaica Miles.
Sean Young.
We appreciate the interest. We appreciate y'all doing what y'all do. Enjoy your weekend.
Yes. And
Much
come back
love.
next Friday.
Come back next Friday.
8
Come
a.m.
see us. You'll see us here. We're gonna be here, but you here now. So,
You can watch it later.
Exactly.
Some people do.
That's true. We do
So
that.
appreciate y'all. Have a good day.